what can happen a lot of times?
Well, you're losing, it's kinetic energy is the force that's that's driving the projectile on. So at some point it loses its energy. When it loses its energy, it stops. And so in this case, if that's the question you're asking,
Sure.
is it's going through all of this and ultimately it comes to rest in the chest wall.
And sometimes will there be a deformity to the projectile as well?
Well, there can be if it hits something that causes it to be deformed, whether it starts out hitting something first or hitting it along its course.
Thank you. That's what I was hoping to hear. Wound number 10, what do we see here?
Well, 10 was an irregular wound, and I described it earlier. There were 3 defects. Well, you can see it here. So you have the exit to 2. You have the entrance 10, which is big and irregular. A couple other fragments that don't really go anywhere. And then you got other defects, and again, those only stay confined to the skin and the very soft tissue under it. So 10, it went into the side of the chest wall, and there's a projectile under it. So that one had to have lost all of its energy before it really hit the chest wall, and so it didn't go very deep, and it stopped there.
Would that be consistent with that projectile hitting concrete?
Could be, yeah.
And is that consistent, hitting concrete, would that be consistent with having this other pseudo-stippling on that right flank of the body?
Yeah, you're getting a lot of other material striking the skin surface. Whether some of that was other fragments, I didn't recover them, so they weren't there. But something did that. And it's something that was hit, and it was superficial, and this other one had lost its velocity before it hit really the skin surface, so it didn't go very far.
So if somebody was laying on the ground and someone were to shoot into the ground before it loses kinetic energy, you could create a situation like that.
Yeah, if it hit something and then hit the body, sure.
Let's see, number 11, what do we have here?
Yeah, number 11 is a gunshot wound, a rifle wound that hit the forearm. So in anatomic position, it entered on the front of the forearm, on the little finger side, and exited the back and thumb side. So it doesn't tell you what position the arm was in when the injury occurred, but when you're describing it anatomically, then it's going from front to back, it's going from right to left or medial to lateral and upward.
And is that what we see here in State's Exhibit 25?
It is. You can see the entrance over here and the exit is on that side, thumb side.
Number 12.
Number 12 is a wound to the back of the left hand. And, a lot of times you really can't tell which way it's going. But in this particular case, there's an abrasion there. So my opinion is that it went from the index finger side towards the ring finger side. Superficial, but it did travel that direction. But then when you put it in anatomic position, you're turning it this way. So if the wound was received this way, it's still going to, in anatomic, we were describing it, it's going the opposite direction.
And then wound number 13, what do we have here?
Yeah, 13 is a graze wound of the elbow. And I could not see, it was superficial enough that I could not get directionality as to which way it was going. I can't tell if it was going from above downward or from below upward.
So when we go back and we look at all of the wounds that you've identified, both superficial and not superficial, how many of these wounds would you describe as lethal?
Now, well, all of them potentially can be lethal if you don't get treatment and you've got infection and bleeding, but there were several that were rapidly fatal. So the most rapidly fatal is one, because that went through the heart, went through the lungs, went through the spleen, but 6 and 7 went through the intestines and went through the liver. So those are lethal, would be rapidly lethal. And then 3 went through the intestines, 5 went through the bladder, So all those untreated are lethal, but some are more rapidly lethal than others.
And I think when we talked previously, I think we counted it up and it was 5 rapidly lethal wounds. Does that sound right?
And that's probably right.
Objection, leading room.
Oh. 4 or 5.
And when you say rapidly lethal, what do you mean by rapidly lethal?
Yeah, that means that in some cases, well, in particular in number 1, even if that had been at the emergency room at Parkland, surgeons may say they could save them, but their odds are pretty minimal you could save anybody. Means that you're hitting an organ that is critical to life, and to be able to fix that, you've got to fix the spleen, you've got to fix the lung, and you've got to fix 2 holes in the heart. And so in my opinion, those are the ones that's not survivable.
What, if somebody was presenting these wounds, what would you expect to see from them if you saw this happen immediately, what would you expect to see them presenting physically, if anything?
Well, I mean, you don't have a wound to the head, so in that particular case, they're bleeding. They would not be instantly unconscious, but they would be rapidly unconscious because of blood loss, and then they'd be rapidly dead.
And would you expect to see potentially rapid blood loss outside of the body?
Well, you could. There's a lot of different defects, so it's certainly possible to have external hemorrhage.
Sure. And have there been cases that you've worked that you might expect a lot of blood loss, but there wasn't?
Well, there are times that, that can happen because you can get other things. You get through, like the lung and the heart, you could get an air embolus, and the air gets in there and can block the heart and kill them. So you would expect could see a lot of blood, and then you don't. So the answer is yeah. I mean, I've seen a lot of different things.
Sure. Okay. Now, as far as your ultimate conclusions, did you make a conclusion and have an opinion as to what caused the death of Melvin Noble?
Yes.
And what was that conclusion?
He died as a result of injuries sustained from multiple rifle wounds.
And in your cause of death report, manner of death?
Homicide.
What does that mean when you classify manner of death?
Well, homicide, you're asking me what I define as homicide?
Correct.
Death at the hands of another person.
As far as the recovery of projectiles, did you recover projectiles in this case?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Showing you State's Exhibit number 30. Do you recognize what's here in the picture of State's Exhibit 30?
Yes, I mean, that's the barcode that has the number on it, and that projectile from the retroperitoneum would have been associated with wound number 3.
And again, we see the IFS number. Is that something that carries along with this case?
Yes.
And then you've documented on here where those were recovered from and what it was.
Yes.
State's Exhibit 33.
That's anterior abdominal wall. That would have been from wound number 8.
State's Exhibit 34.
Right chest cavity, that would have been either 6 or 7, and since I couldn't separate out the 2, I can't tell you which one of the 2 it is.
Sure. State's Exhibit 31.
That would have been number 7 or 6. Could have also been wound number 9, but probably it was the 6 and 7 because they were pretty close together.
State's Exhibit 32.
Yeah, right lateral chest wall, because you can see the projectile is deformed, is probably associated with 10.
And again, you're not testifying to what caused the deformity or anything like that.
No.
Whereas, and just for comparison, State's Exhibit 29 how would you describe that projectile in comparison to the projectile in States Exhibit 32?
32 is, I'm sorry, which one is
So
that?
this is 29
29 is not deformed.
versus 32.
The tip of it is deformed.
And States Exhibit 29, this was a projectile that you recovered from.
Right lateral chest wall, probably number 9.
And again, the reason for saying probably is because of the complexity, of this autopsy.
Yeah, you have a lot of intersecting tracks. You have things ending up in a similar area, and you're trying to follow the track to be as accurate as you can, but sometimes you can't really separate them totally out. But I recovered all of them.
Your Honor, may I have one moment, please?
Yes.
Now, Doctor, just as far as those projectiles, those are then put inside those, I know this seems like a silly question, those are then put inside those envelopes, is that correct?
Yeah, they're sealed up in the envelopes, separately barcoded, and then all the evidence is placed in a sealed bag and then transferred into the evidence registration.
Your Honor, may I approach?
Yes, you may.
Sorry, go ahead. The projectile from the autopsy. Down to one simple thing. There was a hitman on the highway. 37 through 42. Will you please take a look at those?
Right?
What is contained within State's Exhibits 37 through 42?
Well, these are sealed envelopes with the projectiles that I recovered at the autopsy.
State would offer State's Exhibits 37 through 42 for all purposes, courtesy tendered to defense counsel for all purposes.
No objection, Your Honor.
State's Exhibits 37 through 42 are admitted to all purposes.
Now, Doctor, the projectiles that are in State's Exhibits 37 through 42, these are also, so we put the photos in, right? That's what's
Right.
inside these photos,
Yes,
and there's biohazard stickers on as well.
yes, there are.
Doctor, as it relates to firearms, is a firearm a deadly weapon?
Yes,
Is it capable of causing serious bodily injury or death?
yes,
Is shooting somebody 13 times, or at least 5 times, would you, as an expert on this, would you consider that an act clearly dangerous to human life?
yes.
We'll pass it with it, Your Honor.
Defense?
Yes, Your Honor. Dr. Bernard, you said you've been practicing for about 40 years?
Yes,
Okay. And you've done, fairly to say, thousands and thousands of autopsies?
I have.
Okay. And you implied that this one was complex, or had some complexities, is that correct?
It was complex.
Okay. And is part of the reason that it was complex is because if someone is in motion, if the victim is in motion or the person that's shooting the victim is in motion, that can mean that the bullet could be going in different directions. Is that correct?
Well, essentially the answer is yes, but the bullet will go wherever the bullet is aimed. But if the body is in motion or the shooter and the victim are in motion, the track can be unusual because of whatever position the body was in at the time it was struck.
So it's just where we're clear, it's not that this was some big complex autopsy because of the amount of shootings. It was complex because of the two individuals perhaps being in motion in the direction and the angle of the bullets.
Yes and no to that. I mean, when you have multiple projectiles, multiple injuries, those are much more complex than a single gunshot wound. But then when you add unusual trajectories, it makes it even more complex.
And this autopsy happened on August 12th, 2020, is that correct?
I think is November.
I'm sorry, November 12th, 2020.
11th, and then I did the autopsy the 12th.
Okay. And how long does it normally take you to do an autopsy?
Depends on the case. I mean, if it's a drug overdose case, then that might take an hour. If it's a case like this, it could take all day.
Okay. And you weighed Mr. Noble as 199 pounds, is that correct?
That's the weight we got, yes.
Okay. And as far as his height, you have about 5'7", 67
Yeah,
inches.
yes.
And you were able to take some money off his body, or there was money that came with his body, is that correct?
That's correct.
And that was about $1,812?
Somewhere around that.
And when he came to, or when someone comes to the medical examiner's office, do they have their clothes on or they don't?
Depends. It's variable.
Do you remember if Mr. Nolan had his clothes on?
No, I believe he was nude because he had gone to the hospital, and then there was a bag with clothing inside the body bag.
And I do believe that the state had showed you a body bag, and at the bottom between Mr. Noble's legs, there was appeared to be like a circular object. Was that the bag with his clothes?
I believe that's correct.
And I want to talk to you a little bit about some of your findings. Can you tell the jury what is stippling?
Yeah, stippling, as I said earlier, if a barrel tip is close enough, mainly you see this in handguns, but if a barrel tip is close enough at the time of discharge, then you can get some of the residues from the barrel tip at the time coming out of the cartridge case that can strike the skin surface. So gunpowder can strike the skin surface if the barrel tip is close enough. Now, long arm weapons like rifles, well, you've got a lot longer, and a lot of times there's less opportunity to see that gunpowder striking the skin surface.
And can you tell them what soot is?
I'm sorry?
Soot? S-O-O-T?
Soot would be that blackish material that can be on there when it's a contact wound or a near contact wound.
And you didn't see any soot on Mr. Noble's body?
No, ma'am.
And that's often indicative of how far someone is or how close someone is when they're shooting. Is that right?
Yeah, that gives you, if you see residue, it starts giving you an idea of how far away the barrel tip was at the time of discharge.
And on, I think you noted 13 wounds to Mr. Or 12 wounds, if I'm not mistaken.
13.
13 wounds, okay, on Mr. Noble's body. And out of the 13, you noted that there was like one that had a pseudo stippling,
Yeah.
correct? And you didn't note any of them for suits, is that correct?
Yeah, pseudo-stippling, just to be clear, is not real stippling. It's some other material that has caused an impact to the skin surface, but it's not gunpowder.
And so that could have been if he was on, laying on the seat or something,
Yeah, could be.
or it could have been glass.
Potentially, although I didn't see any glass on him, and sometimes it'll make a kind of definitive pattern. I didn't see that.
And you're going to approach the witness. So Dr. Bernard, I know you said that you arbitrarily label the injuries, is that correct?
Yeah, you got to pick a way to separate them.
Okay, and you labeled them from 1 to 13, is that
Right.
right? And there is no way that you can tell this jury which injury happened first, right?
No, not based on this, no.
Okay, and you said that there was 5 injuries that were lethal.
4 or 5 that would have been more rapidly lethal than the others. Some of these could be lethal over a period of time. That is, bleeding, infection, but those that would require emergent surgery, there were at least 4 of them.
Okay, and with those 4 injuries that would require emergency surgery, is there an estimated time based on your experience and training that someone, if they were able to receive help, could have survived?
Well, number one, I don't believe anybody could survive that.
Okay.
The others, you'd have to get in and operate on the liver, the intestines, but potentially you could get to an operating room and maybe they'd survive, maybe they wouldn't survive. But what I call number one, I don't believe any surgeon could save them.
And how quickly can someone bleed out from the other injuries, the other 3 injuries that you were seeing?
The others, well, that would be slower bleeding than through the heart. But it's trying to give you a specific time period. I wouldn't be able to do that. The liver is a very vascular organ, so you could bleed out quickly from those injuries.
Okay, and then the other, you noted that there were some superficial injuries as well, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And that means that they didn't enter the body, it just kind of contacted the skin, is that correct?
Yeah, I mean, some of these are at weird angles. They're hitting the hands, they're grazing the arm, like tin, which is already deformed by the time it hits the body, doesn't go very far. So those are coming at weird angles, a lot of them, or the positioning is weird when it happens.
Thank you. And Dr. Bernard, sometimes the ME goes out to a scene when injuries happen or when someone's death occurs. Did that happen in this case?
Yeah, that's more on television.
Okay.
And in the small jurisdictions where you don't have 5,000 autopsies in a year. I have gone to scenes, usually it was when there were police shootings, so you needed someone who was independent to go in. But in a case like this, plus being transported to the hospital, you're not going to the hospital on those.
So it's fair to say to this jury that you don't know anything about the case other than what the injuries were of Mr. Nolan. Is that correct?
Essentially, that's right. I mean, obviously, someone else shot him, but that would be the totality of it.
And you don't know who that person was that shot him, is that correct?
No, I have no idea.
No further questions, John.
State,
Nothing further from the state, Your Honor. Minutes for this case, please.
Yes, sir.
thank you, Doctor. You're free to leave. State, call your next witness.
State will call Dr. Graham. Doctor?
Doctor, would you raise your right hand for me? Do you swear that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
I do.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Doctor.
Good afternoon.
How are you, sir?
Doing fine. Thank you.
Would you please introduce yourself to this jury and spell your name for the court reporter?
Yes, my name is Randall Graham, Graham. First name Randall, Randall.
And Doctor, how are you currently employed?
I'm a neurosurgeon with the Methodist Health System here in Dallas.
And where are you coming from this morning?
From Methodist Dallas Hospital.
And I apologize. Did you have surgery this morning?
I did, yes.
And what type of surgeon are you?
I'm a neurosurgeon.
Apologize, Your Honor. I'm just trying to reopen my PowerPoint. And so the jury just heard from Dr. Bernard, medical examiner, retired with Dallas County. Neurosurgeon, you're a brain surgeon, is that fair?
That's correct.
Okay. I want to kind of just jump right into things because I know you've had a busy day, and I appreciate you coming down. November 11th of 2020, do you remember that day?
Yes, I do.
And I'm going to put this calendar that's in for demonstrative purposes up. I'm going to put it up next to you. November 11th of 2020. What were you doing that morning?
That morning, I was working at Methodist Charlton Medical Center.
And where's that at?
That is near the intersection of I-20 and 67.
Okay. And doing morning rounds, surgery that morning, if you remember?
That morning I had morning rounds, and I think I had a small operation that I had to do.
Okay. And at some point, did you begin to leave to go to another facility?
Yes,
Or hospital, excuse me.
Yes, I left Methodist Charlton to go to Methodist Dallas.
And how did you, what roads did you take to get there?
So from Methodist Charlton, I took I-67 north, and that joins into I-35 north.
And as you were driving north on I-35, did anything happen out of the ordinary?
Yes.
What happened that morning?
So as I was going northbound on I-35, in 2020, there was quite a bit of construction on that highway around that time. And I recall as I was going northbound, I heard what I would describe as repetitive, loud banging sounds. And it was not clear to me exactly what types of sounds those were. I just assumed maybe it was something from the construction. Then suddenly traffic slowed down, which again, not terribly unusual for there being so much construction there, but being a little bit unusual for the time of day, which was around noon. And then suddenly traffic pretty much came to almost a stop.
Just, I want to stop you right there for a second. When you originally heard those sounds, and anything in your mind, what did you think those sounds were?
At the time, I really thought it was just something to do with the construction. I didn't have any sort of context or knowledge of what that sound was.
And as you talked about the highway there, were there any shoulders or any sides? I mean, or was the highway kind of completely under construction at that time? Do you remember?
Yes, at that time there were no shoulders. It was almost a sort of an overpass situation with guards on each side.
And so as the traffic comes to a stop in front of you, is anything going through your mind at that moment that this is anything but traffic or anything like that?
At that instant, I thought it was just traffic from construction at that instant.
And then as you, did you come to a complete stop there?
I did.
Okay. And what happened once you came to a complete stop?
Shortly after coming to a complete stop, there was an even louder sound of essentially almost an explosion on my windshield. And that was a very different sound, followed by some glass and shrapnel pretty much going into my face and neck. And at first I didn't really know what was going on until I looked on the windshield and saw a hole in the windshield. And I just immediately thought that must have been a gunshot.
And once you saw this thing that you believe might be a gunshot or must have been a gunshot, did you look around and see anything out of the ordinary?
Yes, very shortly after that, a black male essentially sprinted by my vehicle, in front of my vehicle, in front of the passenger side, and ran alongside the passenger side of my vehicle. And then chasing him was another black male with what appeared to be an automatic rifle. And the second gentleman stopped at the front passenger headlight of my car, and he appeared to take aim, and he took what I remember to be 2 shots. And then he turned and actually looked at me through the windshield. He was wearing a mask, and we locked eyes for probably a second or two, and then he turned around and ran off, going northbound.
And what was going through your mind at that moment?
I mean, I really thought that was going to be the end of my life.
So, I want to back up just a second. As you come to a stop, do you remember which lane you were in?
I was in the left lane.
Okay. And when you first saw the first black male running towards you, do you remember what side of the vehicle he was on? If you're looking for, was he on your left-hand side or right-hand side originally?
Right-hand side.
Okay. And the individual, second black male that came running by, was he on the left-hand side or right-hand side?
Also the right-hand side.
Okay. And so, as they ran past, do you know how far the first male got past you?
I don't recall.
Okay. As far as the shooter, did he ever go past your front right passenger door?
I don't think he did. I think he took those final shots and then went the other way.
MURD3R has been marked as State's Exhibit 47. Do you recognize the vehicle in State's Exhibit 47?
Yes, I do.
And I have a smaller photo here just of that. Do you see that?
Yes.
And State's 47 is already in evidence. Whose vehicle is that right there?
At the time, that was my vehicle.
Okay. And did you know that the victim was laying there behind the back right tire when you were in your car?
I did not.
At this point, it appears that the gunman is gone, correct?
Correct.
What were you doing at this moment when you were in your car, if you remember?
I remember collecting my thoughts, or trying to, for a few seconds, and then I called 911 from my car.
And then from this spot right here, at what point did you realize that the victim was on the ground at or near this location?
I didn't realize that until much later.
Okay. And did you stay here in your vehicle?
Sorry, what was-
Did you stay right here in your vehicle that we see in State's Exhibit 47?
at this moment, when this picture was taken, I must have been in the vehicle still, in the driver's seat.
And
Yes.
why do you say that you must have been in the vehicle still?
Well, after I talked to the 911 dispatcher, I actually pulled forward and pulled my vehicle over towards that right guardrail, probably about 25 yards northbound of that.
Okay, so we see that vehicle to the right-hand side.
Correct.
Is that where we see the billboard kind of in that area? Is that kind of where you moved your vehicle?
Yes.
Okay. Now, Doctor, I think last time we met, I showed you a video of yourself out there. Do you remember that?
Yes.
You see kind of your blinker on there in the video with the victim on the ground. So when you pulled over, we're looking now at a photo, a live photo from an iPhone. Had the victim been moved, or is that where he was at in relation to your car? And your car is just now not in the picture. Does that make sense?
Correct.
Answer that question.
No, I understand the question. From my recollection, the victim was not moved.
And so we don't see your car here anymore, but it's not that it just disappeared. You moved your car, correct?
Correct. My car would be in front of that silver truck.
The silver, it looks like a four-door Ford truck with a van and a green shirt.
Correct.
And so that in State's Exhibit 47, you can actually see the billboard that's on the other side of the truck a little bit better. But can you describe to the jury what you're doing in this video with the victim?
So I'm administering CPR.
And at what point did you realize, how did you find out that the victim was on the ground right there?
Well, after I pulled my car over, I got out of my car, and there was a group of Hispanic women who, if I remember correctly, they got out of a minivan, and they were screaming in Spanish, and one of them actually grabbed me, and she must have seen me wearing scrubs and pointed over to what was the victim, and he was laying on the ground, and so that's when I approached him.
Now, you talked about when what must have been a bullet struck your car, you were hit with debris or shrapnel. Is that fair?
That's correct.
Did you know how seriously you had been shot or wounded at that point?
I did not.
But you still got out of your vehicle and came over started performing life-saving measures?
Yes.
Or attempting life-saving measures?
Yes.
Explain that, just how that works in that situation for yourself.
Well, I mean, I think there was a lot of adrenaline in this situation. It was all very confusing, and it's just, I think at that time, what people do under situations of that type of stress is they sort of go back into their most basic training, and so for pretty much all of my adult life, I've been trained to try to help people who are in dire medical situations like this.
And when you were trying to do what you could in this situation, based off what you were observing as a neurosurgeon, as a doctor, what did you observe as far as what the victim was presenting as far as symptoms or signs of trauma?
Well, there were multiple wounds. He was completely soaked in blood. There was quite a bit of blood on the pavement, and he really wasn't breathing normally.
And when you say he wasn't breathing normally, what do you mean by that?
Well, in situations of severe brain damage, we see this pretty frequently. There's a phenomenon called agonal respirations, where it almost looks like the victim or the patient is taking these very short gulps of breath, or attempting to take very short gulps of breath with long, kind of several second breathless intervals in between them. And that's a sign that the overwhelming majority of brain tissue has been completely starved of oxygen, and the very basic primitive respiratory centers in what's called the brainstem are trying to initiate breaths, and so that reflex causes the diaphragm to spasm. Those aren't functional breaths. They don't actually get enough oxygen to the lungs, and they don't actually clear enough carbon dioxide, but it's recognizable as a very short, very dramatic gulp, or almost like a bucking type of maneuver. And that was already obvious in this gentleman.
When somebody presents with these signs of trauma and symptoms, even with all of your training and background and experience, was there anything that you could have done in this situation?
It's highly doubtful. I don't think I've ever seen someone survive once those respirations have been that obvious. I don't think I've seen someone actually survive.
I'll pass it with Sean.
Good afternoon, Dr. Graham. I just want to ask just a couple of questions about what you observed. What you said is that you saw two people running. Is that right?
Correct.
And they were running towards you, correct?
Yes,
There was one person in front and one person behind, correct?
that's right.
The person in front, what did they have in their hands?
I don't remember seeing anything in his hands.
Okay, do you remember seeing a weapon?
I don't.
Do you remember seeing a cell phone?
I do not.
Do you remember seeing a bag?
No, I do not.
Did you observe the person that was running towards you in the front? Did you observe them at a vehicle?
I did not observe them in a vehicle.
Did you observe them near a vehicle?
No, I did not.
Okay. The second person that was running behind the first person, did you observe that person in a vehicle?
I did not.
So you didn't observe whether or not there was anybody, where there were any vehicles involved?
I did not see any vehicles involved.
And therefore, whether there were, you don't know. Whether there were people inside, you don't know.
That's correct.
And then you said that the second person that was running, that person, you observed that person have a firearm.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. And that they then sort of were near your car and were shooting?
Yes.
And the first person, did you how far away were those two people?
I don't recall how far away they were.
Were they right on top of each other?
No,
Okay, so there was some distance.
correct. There was some distance.
Okay, and then you said that you described that person as the second person you described as a black male, is that right?
That's right.
Was it a light-skinned or dark-skinned black male?
Probably between, I would describe,
Like a medium skin?
like brown skin,
Brown skin?
black
Okay.
male, correct.
Okay, but it was a black male that was brown skin versus, say, a Hispanic person that was brown skin.
Yes,
Okay, and what type of, did you describe any clothing?
yes. He had some sort of a vest on, and he had a face covering,
Okay,
and I remember him wearing a shirt that was like a greenish brown type of shade.
okay, so greenish brown shirt with a vest.
Correct.
And then you said something over his head,
Face.
something over his face.
I could see his eyes, but I could not see his nose or mouth.
Okay, so there was something covering the bottom of his face.
Correct.
Was there anything covering his head?
I don't think so. I don't
Okay.
recall.
Okay, but what you observed, what you just described, is when the person was standing near your car.
Correct.
Okay, but you whatever you observed, you could not identify that person.
No.
You could not say who that person was.
No, I could not.
Based on all of the things that you were able to observe, were you able to determine how the situation began?
No.
Were you able to determine where the people, other than them running, could you tell whether they had originated from the north or the south?
They had originated from northbound because they were coming from northbound.
They were coming from northbound.
They were coming from north of where I was situated.
They were in front of you.
Correct.
Okay. But do you know where they had originated in terms, I mean, they didn't, obviously appear just randomly on the highway.
Correct.
Do you know where they originated?
I'm sorry.
Prior to being on the highway, do you know where they came from?
Oh, no, I do not.
Okay. Do you know anything about any of the parties involved?
I do not.
Have you met with the district attorney's office?
Yes,
How many times?
twice before this.
The first time, was that in 2025?
I think it was before that.
It was before 2025, possibly 2024?
I think so.
Okay. And the second time?
The second time was just a few weeks ago.
And were you, when you met with them, were you told about what was going on?
No.
What the accusations were?
I was told about the charges.
Were you told or given the name Melvin Noble?
No,
Were you given the name Marquise Conway?
no,
Were you given the name Kewon White?
no,
Did you talk to any of the other witnesses?
I did not.
Did you talk to anybody that was out on the highway?
You mean after, I'm sorry, when I
At the
was,
time. Excuse me, I'm so sorry, and I don't mean to cut you off, sir. I do
it's okay.
apologize
No, no
for that.
problem.
At the time, did you talk to any other people that were on the highway?
So during the incident,
Correct.
yes, I did.
Okay. Once Mr. Noble had been put into an ambulance, he eventually was put into an ambulance, is that right?
Sorry, who's Mr. Noble?
Once the decedent was put into an ambulance, did you stay at the location?
No, I did not.
After you were sort of relieved of your duties or you weren't doing anything to help the decedent, did anybody come talk to you or ask for a statement or ask you what you remember or anything like that?
Well, I was taken to the hospital to treat my own injuries.
Okay,
But-
and then at the hospital, did anybody come?
No,
Okay, and so when's the first time that you talked to a law enforcement officer?
at the scene,
So you did talk to somebody at the scene,
yes.
okay? And did you tell them what you told us today?
I described what happened to the best of my ability.
Okay, and what you described was a person that had on something covering the lower part of their face, right?
Right,
They had on a greenish brown shirt
Right.
a vest.
Yes.
Did you say anything about what they had on the lower part of their body?
No.
Okay. And that they had a firearm.
Correct.
And that there was another person that was in front of them that was running after them. I mean, running. The person who you described as having the gun was running after someone else,
Correct.
from your perspective.
Yes.
But you didn't have any other information.
I did not.
Did you watch any of the videos prior to your testimony today? For example, the video that the state just showed you?
Yes.
You had seen that before today?
Yes.
When did you see it?
I saw it in the district attorney's office
Do you recall when?
a few weeks ago.
Okay. And then what about in the meeting in 2024?
I watched them too.
Okay, so you watched it twice.
Correct.
Okay. And was it shown to you so you could remember what was going on?
What's the question?
Did they show you the video when you met with them to help refresh your recollection about what had happened in 2020?
I didn't ask them why they showed it to me.
But they just did.
They just did. Yes.
You didn't ask for it.
No.
Did you end up, I heard you say that you talked to the police at the scene before you left, correct?
Yes.
Did you talk to any civilians, non-law enforcement?
Yes, I did.
Okay, and who did you speak to?
While I was doing CPR, a gentleman who told me he was a resource officer.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. You can't repeat what somebody else told you, but my question is, did you talk to, you said you talked to another gentleman out there, is that right?
Yes.
And then anyone else?
An EMT who was looking at my injuries. I spoke to him too.
Okay. And any other civilians, like just regular people?
I called my wife.
Okay, sure. And I mean, that makes sense, of course, but I'm saying just on the highway, regular people, non-law enforcement, non-medical, other than the resource officer that you just talked about.
I also called my office and the
okay.
people I was supposed to do surgery on and
Sure. I mean,
told
it's
them
the
no.
people
that I
that were
wasn't.
physically there with
Oh, so people on the highway.
Be able to
Yes.
finish his
Yes,
answer
your
before he.
objections sustained.
Thank
Counsel
you.
allow the witness to finish his thoughts.
Absolutely, and I just wanted to clarify my question. So I'm sure you made phone calls. My question is about people that were physically there also. Anyone else that was non-medical, non-law enforcement that you spoke to?
Other than the resource officer, no.
Okay. Dr. Graham, we're sorry for your injuries. Thank you.
Thank
I'll
you.
pass the witness at this time.
State.
Yes, just brief. Doctor, who all did, can you please finish the question you were answering about who you called while you were at the scene?
So I called my staff to let them know I probably was going to miss the afternoon's appointments and surgery, and I called my wife after I spoke to police and spoke to the EMTs.
And from there, where did you go?
From there, I was taken to the Methodist Dallas emergency room to be evaluated.
And were you treated there?
Yes.
Do you see what's on the ground in the video behind you? Is that your phone, or do you know whose phone that is on the ground behind you?
I don't know whose phone that is.
And in State's Exhibit 47, that's your vehicle, correct?
Correct.
And we see the decedent there, correct?
Yes.
Do you see what appears to be a shoe,
Yes, there does appear to be a shoe.
and then what appears to be a phone?
Yes.
State's going to offer State's Exhibit 50, which is a notice of intent to use business records, and State's Exhibit 51, which is Dr. Graham's medical records from that day previously tendered to defense counsel.
Dr. Graham. There's not an objection to 51.
I'm sorry.
There's no objection to 51.
All right, State's Exhibit 50 is, what, State's Exhibit 50 is admitted for record purposes only. State's Exhibit 51 is admitted for all purposes.
Nothing further from the state, no.
Any other questions for this one?
Nothing further from the defense.
All right, may this witness be released?
No objection from the state.
Defense?
No objection from the defense.
Thank you, Doctor. Ladies and gentlemen, do y'all need another short break before we continue? All right, let's take a 15-minute break and be back at, let's see, let's be back at 3:35.
All right.
Damn, hold on. Everybody on recess? What happened in court? What happened? How the hell we get the recess on? Come on, bro. I can't even. God damn, what's going on? I'm trying to work on some other shit. Phoenix 44, what up? Big homie Slim, what up? Mr. 610 Geo, what up? Maud James, what up? But I don't know what the hell going on. Man, cooling, bro, cooling. Hope everything good, my nigga. For sure, for sure. Yo. Boy, these numbers loading a bitch. I don't care. We gonna ride this motherfucker out right now. What's up with this? Why is everybody, what happened to court? What the hell happened in court? First of all, I ain't bitch right now about you. Why niggas sound like that? And what Miss Duval last said, she got me liking this goddamn Belly Gang song. I ain't like that shit. Man, I like the damn song. Man. Sick of this shit, bro. What y'all on? What happened with court? Oh, it just stopped by 5 minutes ago. Gotta wait to stream back up. What the yo? They got going on? Bro, I ain't gonna lie, this little editing program that I'm using on the phone, boy, this bitch be so annoying. Little bitty bitch, but I will bounce you up. All right, let's see what's going on. Hold on. Let's see what's going on with this shit. Why we ain't got no action? What's up with court?
Nation.
No cross-time.
Ladies and gentlemen, any of the jury, any questions for this witness? Seeing none, thank you, Mr. Starr. You're free to go.
Who free to go?
Say who's your next witness.
Judge reserving the right to confirm with the clerk that everything that we've offered has been admitted. At this point, the state will rest.
That boy do it like.
Do you want to come up and review it, or have you already done
I've
it?
checked. It's just the last three exhibits actually is the last one we're going to confirm.
Okay.
Can we address 31?
Oh yes, I forgot to address 31. So 31 was a duplicate.
Okay.
So we never offered 31. We just need to make a record that 31 was a duplicate of, you know what exhibit it is? Of 30. Yeah, it's a duplicate of 30.
Okay.
So the clerk asked you.
Man, what you Keefy D and Mob James looking at niggas up to, man? What y'all got going on? Y'all Keefy D in the face looking at nigga, man. What y'all?
Good. Defense.
Timmy Rue in the face looking at nigga, man. What you Timmy Rue looking at niggas got going on, man? Why is it a rapper named Ball Greasy, bro? Pause, bro. I was just finna say, what you Ball Greasy, but pause, bro. Why that's a nigga name? What's up with cuz, man? Nigga name. Never mind, man. The world fucked up, bro. What this nigga head? Almond head ass, smooth head ass nigga. God damn. Smooth almond head ass. What's up with MO3 case though? MO3 mama took the stand, shit went quiet. Did this one ever come back? Wow, they never came back on Criminal District Court 7. They never came back. That's crazy. Well, fuck it. Why we waiting on them? And we waiting on all this? Why not? Why not?
I don't know how they did it. I don't know if he even know they got it, but they got all of his iCloud info from his phone. But basically,
Might as well watch a nigga. Watch a nigga. That's watching a nigga. Why not? Just like Inception streaming.
Don Slime, I'm in this pain. I'm with you for life. I'm grilling about this shit.
We have witnesses lined up. We cannot make it here today. There'll be officers from the Metropolitan Police Department that will testify on behalf of the defense. Because of the fact that they're scheduling, we're unable to get it today. We would ask the court to allow us to start our case in chief tomorrow with a detective and 2 police officers tomorrow.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're way ahead of schedule ultimately. The defense at this point is moving into their case in chief, but doesn't have their witnesses available until tomorrow. So we are going to recess for today and have you guys back here at noon tomorrow. During this recess, you are admonished not to talk or converse amongst yourselves or with anyone else on any subject connected to the trial, or read, watch, or listen to any reportive or commentary on the trial of any person connected with this case by any medium of information, including without limitation, newspaper, television, the internet, and radio, or form or express any opinion on any subject connected with the trial until the case is submitted to you. Sorry, we'll see you guys tomorrow.
Bro,
Please
the
rise
nigga
for
was
the
in
jury.
court like what, 30 minutes?
The jailhouse is done.
You're just putting that on record that there's no objection to the foundation for that, and you're not doing it through the custodian of records?
Yes, we had agreed ahead of
Okay.
time.
Got it. So moving on to the issue with the YouTube videos.
Yes, Your Honor. My understanding is Mr. Samt has an objection as to the foundation for the YouTube videos.
That's correct, John.
Is any of the-
My understanding is that they're going to produce an individual that works for the Clark County District Attorney's Office who will come here and basically.
Is any of the MO3 blogger section live? I went and checked earlier. I didn't see none of them niggas. Say No to Skull, Ratchet TV, 88, the lab, they in the courtroom, in the lab. Is anybody, big homie say, on God, we wild in Florida. Oh, I'm trying to find, let me see if any of these Mo3 bloggers is live. Hold on, bro. See if they got any kind of information of what's going on. Let me see the Mo3 bloggers. Hold on, bro. I don't know why I keep saying say no, Sko. Like he the one who be like you tell him, say no, Sko. No, it's just say no. 2. I just keep saying say no, Sko. Let me see. Mo3. Let me look up. Let me see. Nobody live. Nobody's live. All right. First of all, I ain't gonna be any bitch when I want you up. All right. What's the other guy? Let me see. Let me check. I just said the nigga name.
the jury.
No, it's nothing to hear. Court adjourned. Court is over. Chicken nugget head ass boy. Nah, they court over, Kev. They court over. As far as keeping these cases over for the day.
The party stipulates the
I'm
presence of
waiting
the jury.
on
That's right.
the MO3 case
You
is
may be
supposed to
seated.
crank right back up. They got like an hour.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're still in the state's case in chief for now. State, who's your next witness?
State's witness is Adam Stair.
Just good for you.
You do solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give in this action shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So
Man,
help you
get
God.
parks the fuck
You
out
may
of
be
here.
seated.
This dude look like playing Mike from the real crazy. Get cuz out of here. All right, let's go to. Let me see who has a longer video we could. Ratchet went live. Let's go. Just say no to Skull. Free Keefy. Didn't the motherfucking judge want to come back soon as a nigga start? Look at this shit. Look at your face. Judge might could get worked out, boy. Come here, Judge. Your motherfucking. Okay, so are they coming back or not? I don't want to switch it and then they. It's a lot going on. Yeah. Facts, big homie. It's a lot going on in the hip hop community. It's a lot going on in the hip hop community, which has merged with the streamer community, which has merged with the true crime community, which has merged with the. All this shit is merged now. It's all one. Everybody doing everything, man. That's crazy. What was I putting?
Go ahead and line up the jury.
Judge, I think on this next one is we want to have a hearing.
I mean,
Shout out RUMORNATI in the goo.
Shout out RUMORNATI.
RUMORNATI up? Alright, cool.
I got no type beat. If in the MO, let me.
RUMORNATI up? Alright, cool.
I thought they was coming back, bro. I thought they was coming back. I ain't gonna cap. I thought they was coming back. They are, but shh, nigga, I thought it was gonna be right now. Cannot update the project. Why, fool?
Shout out RUMORNATI in the goo.
Shout out RUMORNATI. Bro, this phone pissing me off.
Asking questions about why that is just happening or what's been going on and the church is lined up.
In my projects, looking at. What y'all cuckoo cow looking niggas on, man? What y'all goddamn in my projects looking at? What y'all niggas look, man? I'm about to fry one of you niggas, man. I'm about to fry one of you P. Miller shoe money yachty. I'm about to fry one of you money yachty shoe.
The state attorney, Your Honor.
okay.
The defense is ready to
OTF
proceed.
Jam on the
Yes,
stand
I'm gonna be
testifying
asking
right
for
now?
hearing outside the presence of the jury
Oh my
for-
God,
For the
bro, I
next
wish we could
witness,
see it.
because I believe that they're going to be testifying about evidence that was collected at a location that's not
I wish we could see it, dog.
flesh that out before this person testifies in front of the jury, so that if I make my relevance objections and the court agrees, that we don't run the risk of the jury hearing things that ultimately the court has determined is not relevant to this trial.
What's the state's position?
Your Honor, this is a house that is searched as part of the investigation. As you're aware, there's multiple co-defendants. This is one of the houses that was searched as part of this investigation.
Okay.
So I can't call every witness at the same time. I'm putting this person on now because there's so many witnesses. And he searched this house pursuant to a search warrant in regards to the investigation of the death of Melvin Noble. Therefore, it is relevant to this jury because it was part of the search in this case.
And may I respond?
Yes, go ahead.
So the location that this law enforcement person, excuse me, I don't want to call you the wrong thing, searched is an address that's located on a street called Britain. My client, and therefore the elements and the things that the state has to establish beyond a reasonable doubt as it relates to the charges against my client, anything that was seized or found or confiscated or investigated at that location are not things that are tied to my client. So it's not, he's not there, his phones are not there, his clothing is not there, mail is not there, there's nothing associated with my client. And so from our perspective, the state has an obligation to meet the elements of the charges against Kewon White. And the evidence that they need to produce or present has to tend to support those elements. And these are pieces of evidence or facts that don't tend to support that don't tend to go to the elements that they have to meet beyond a reasonable doubt.
Okay. Is this correct? I mean, if there's nothing connecting this defendant to the evidence produced by this individual, then why are we calling him?
There are phones that come from the house. There are firearms that are also tested in this case to eliminate, because there's two houses that are known houses to be associated with the group. This house specifically is a house that is tied to the co-defendant, Devin Brown, who was first arrested in November of 2020. That is the first house. There are multiple phones and other items, including DVR and firearms, that are taken from that house that are part of this investigation, that include evidence that were used for testing, cell phone extractions that have messages and communications amongst the parties.
That tie into this case?
Correct.
Okay. And that are relevant to the state's
Correct. Yes, Your Honor.
case?
Correct.
In this case?
Correct. In
Is that
fact,
right? Okay.
yes.
And I don't want to...
Okay, listen, I don't know what the facts are going to show from this witness, and I'm not about to put him on twice outside the presence and in the presence. So it looks like you're going to have to make trial objections. Okay?
Okay, and Judge, if I can...
Your objection is noted.
Okay, and if I can just make the record clear that the court is denying the defense's ability to voir dire this witness outside of the presence of the jury, so that in the event that the court hears things that are not relevant or are overly prejudicial to my client, that we cannot make that determination outside of the presence of the jury, that the jury would hear it and I would just have to object and potentially have them use what they hear that the court determines they shouldn't have heard against my client as they're delivering.
Well, you just said a mouthful, but what the court is saying is that should the state ask a question, an answer to which would be irrelevant or hearsay, or tend to bring up issues not associated with this defendant and therefore would be prejudicial instead of relevant, you make your trial objection. And if you need to examine this witness outside the presence at that time because of issues that the state feels would be important regarding whatever your objection is, then I would ask the jurors to go back to the jury. Otherwise, we're going to proceed with this witness and you will make your trial objection.
Okay, and I'm just trying to be proactive because none of the firearms...
I understand, but I overruled your objection. Let's slide number 3. Smith?
I don't know.
You've made your objection, you've preserved your error. I'm going to need everybody to calm down. Let's bring the jury in. And that's a warning to the state as well. Don't waste the court's time or the jury's time trying to elicit from this witness evidence that would not be relevant to this trial.
All right.
Y'all may be seated. We're back on the record. The record will reflect that the defendant is present, the state is present, the jurors are present and seated. Is the state ready to proceed with their next witness?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, go ahead.
The state calls Detective Bizon.
Detective, would you raise your right hand for me? Do you swear that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. May I proceed?
You may.
Thank you. It's Detective Bizon, correct?
Yes.
Detective, how are you currently employed?
Just spell your names for me.
B as in boy, A-Z-A-N.
And how are you currently employed?
I am a detective with the Dallas Police Department.
How long have you been employed with the Dallas Police Department?
29 years.
And as a detective, specifically, what division are you in with the Dallas Police Department?
I am currently assigned to the personnel unit. I do background investigations on all the applicants who are wanting to become police officers now. Prior to that, I was a crime scene detective for 14 years.
Can you just briefly tell this jury a little bit about your training and experience, specifically as it relates to processing crime scenes?
Well, I went through our 2-week-long crime scene school within the department. I learned how to fingerprint. I learned how to process trace evidence. I learned how to preserve trace evidence. I've also been to 2 photography schools at the FBI Academy. I've been to a Nikon photography school. I've been to a shooting reconstruction school, a post-blast investigation school through the FBI and through the ATF. And I think that's the gist of it.
Okay. Your Honor, may I approach?
You may.
Now, Detective, you're aware of a murder that took place in November 11th of 2020, correct?
Yes, correct.
You did not, in fact, actually work the physical crime scene there on the highway, correct?
No, sir, I didn't.
Now, did you help investigators in subsequent and follow-up searches that were done as part of that investigation into individuals or houses or places associated with that offense?
Yes, I did.
May I approach, Your Honor?
You may.
Thank you. Showing you what's been marked as State's Exhibit number 511. Do you recognize 511?
Yes, I did.
And what is 511?
This is a copy of the search warrant that was presented to me when I processed the house on 33rd and Brighton Street.
3030 Brighton?
Yes, or Brighton Street.
And it's Britton?
Correct.
Would you mind taking a look at State's Exhibits 512 through 588, please?
Your Honor, I'm going to object to this witnss's testimony as it relates to a location at a street called Brighton, as it is not relevant to anything related to the charges pending against Kewon White.
Thank you. What's the state's response?
Your Honor, this is the location that is associated with one of the co-defendants. It was searched pursuant to an investigation of these individuals, and the detective on this case who
Of these individuals meaning the defendant and the co-defendant?
there is conversation. There will be testimony about this specific house going through other witnesses, including the lead detective on this case and other civilian witnesses who are going to testify about this location.
That connect this defendant?
Correct.
Okay. Your objection overruled.
I'd like for a running objection. I'd ask the court for a running objection, anything that this witness testifies to as it relates to anything found or seized or whatever at the location at Brighton does not have anything to do with my client, that is highly prejudicial as it relates to character evidence and all kinds of things that we're going to ask for a running objection.
That's overruled. We'll make the trial objections as objectionable material conduct. Thank you.
Detective, do you recognize State's Exhibit number 512 just being a Google map photo of that location?
Yes, correct.
And then 513 through, sorry, I said the number wrong. It's 513 through 611? Does that sound right?
Yes.
Now, State, you mentioned State's Exhibits 512 to 588. Are you going beyond that to 611?
Yes, Your Honor, I was wrong. I had 588 out of order. It's actually 512 is an aerial map from Google Maps, and then 513 through 611 are all the photos, correct?
Yes.
State would offer State's Exhibit 511 for record purposes and 512 through, for 511 for record, 512 through 611 for all purposes.
Which one is the references? This.
May I take the witness on board iron?
May?
May I approach the witness?
Yes.
Hi, sir. I think that you had looked through all of these pictures, is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
And you had indicated that these are the photographs that you took.
Yes, ma'am.
And there's a huge number of them, is that right?
Yes.
And they depict the inside and a little bit of the outside of an address that's located on Britton Street. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And you had photographed some of the items that were inside of and a little bit outside of that address. Is that correct?
Yes, I did.
And did you seize anything?
Yes, I did.
Okay. And in investigating or in being able to go inside of this address, were you authorized by a court or a judge to be able to go into this address?
Yes, ma'am. We had a search warrant.
Okay. And that search warrant, was it associated with somebody named Kewon White?
I don't remember who it was associated with. I just know that we had a search warrant. I looked at it, matched the address, and that was good to go.
Okay. Do you recall whether or not there was a name listed in the search warrant?
No, ma'am, I don't remember.
If I showed it to you, would that refresh your recollection?
Yes.
Okay. May I reapproach? I'm going to show you a document that's listed as State's Exhibit 511. Does that look familiar to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And then if you flip through it, is there a name listed with like a date of birth and a race and a gender about who the search warrant is about?
There's only a name on here for Devin Maurice Brown.
Okay. Is that the same as Kewon White? That's a silly question, but is Devin Brown the same name as Kewon White?
No, ma'am.
Okay. And then if you look through this search warrant, can you identify for me where it talks about information related to an allegation of murder occurring on November 11th, 2020? If you do take your time, you just look through there and you see whether or not it has anything about that.
No, I don't think I saw what you're referring to.
Okay, so as far as you're aware, it included in the search warrant that authorized you to go into the house in Britain, you're not seeing anything that is referencing an allegation of murder that occurred on November 11th, 2020.
I don't think so. I don't believe so.
And then in the items that you either photographed or seized, do you recall, and you tell me if you want to come, if you want me to bring your pictures back to you, do you recall any information, physical piece of evidence, writing, letter, document, anything that referenced, identified, or talked about somebody named Kewon White?
No, I don't believe so.
Was there anything that you recovered from this house at the address on Britain that you have learned specifically is belongs to, owned by, operated by, controlled by, anything Kewon White?
Not that I've been told.
And then, we took this out. Put it backward. Can I reapproach the witness, please?
Yes.
Is this the witness on board or is this cross-examination? Because I'm going to object.
Objection?
Yes, I'm going to object that this is outside the scope of a board ire on this witness.
Your objection is sustained.
Okay. Can you tell me when that document was signed?
It was signed on at 8:59 a.m. on November 19th, 2020.
November 9th. Can you say it a little louder? I'm sorry.
November 19th at 8:59 a.m. November 2020.
2020. Okay. So after November 11th.
Yes.
Okay. So it's your so you don't have any information about Kewon White. Is that right?
That's correct.
Your Honor, I'm going to renew my objection again that this is outside of the board hiring this witness on his knowledge. I mean, these are asked and answered, and this is cross-examination territory.
Sustained.
I'm going to be objecting to, based on the board ire of this witness, that the search warrant that authorized him to go into to the location located at Britain, none of that talks about a murder allegation occurring on November 11th, 2020. The search warrant was dated November 19th, 2020, after the allegation of murder, and it still doesn't make any reference to the murder. He's already testified that any of the evidence that he seized or photographs that he took don't have anything to do with the Kewon White. He identified somebody named Devin Brown, and therefore I'm going to object to the relevance of any documents or pictures or seized items. I'm going to further object to the prejudicial impact of anything that he would testify to that has zero connection to my client or the allegation that's pending against my client.
Thank you. State's response?
Can I just ask him one question real quick?
Yes.
Or can I ask him a couple since...
Detective Zahn, I'm showing you. Do you recognize what's in front of you?
Yes, sir, I do.
What's in front of you?
These are the Dallas Police Department crime scene field notes. So, would you like me to explain it, or?
What? Just in regards to this, are these your field notes?
Yes, sir, they are.
Now, you were not the lead investigator. You were not a homicide investigator. You were only a crime scene investigator in this case, correct?
That is correct.
Can you tell me what the purpose of you being called out for the offense in this case on your field notes was for?
Well, the purpose was to process the house to retrieve evidence that was used in an offense.
Is it possible to investigate a murder before a murder happens?
No.
So if you were doing a follow-up investigation on a murder, it would have had to have happened after November 11th, correct? Or the day of?
That is correct.
Couldn't happen on November 10th?
No.
This case number here at the top, 201916-2020, what is that number associated with?
That would be the number that's associated to the murder that happened on November 11th, I believe it was.
Okay. But your only involvement was to search this house?
Yes.
And under offense, what was the reason or the offense that you put?
I actually put F/U, which is short notes for follow-up.
And what's the next word that you
and
have on
then
there?
it's dash murder.
So this was a follow-up for the murder, but the legal mechanism, you weren't the person who got the search warrant from a judge, right?
No, that was not me.
But a judge signed off on allowing y'all to search,
Correct.
and you processed it for a follow-up to a murder,
That is correct.
and the case was for
Matt,
the...
I'm gonna just object that he's reading from a document that's not entered into evidence.
What was the purpose of you searching 3030 Brighton?
To pretty much process the house and recover any possible evidence that might have been or could have been used in that murder.
Okay. And are you in the best position to talk about how this connects this defendant to that house, or are you only testifying to processing this house?
I'm only testifying to what I did at the listed location.
And again, under offense, you had it for
follow-up to a murder.
And the case, what was the case that you assigned this to? That this case notes fall under when you upload them?
That will always be attached to that murder.
So it's part of that murder investigation?
Correct.
All right, the defendant's objection is overruled. State may proceed.
Are states 512 through 611 admitted?
Admitted for all purposes. States 511 is admitted for record purposes only.
Thank you, Your Honor. There's quite a bit of photos here. I'm going to try and move through them quite quickly because I know we're getting towards the end of the day, and I'm sure the jury's tired of us. States 512 aerial photo.
Correct.
513. What do we see here?
That's just a placard stating the date and time that the scene was processed, and it has a case number, and the photographs were taken by me, which is my initial, my last name, and my badge number.
So if other people processed other scenes associated to this murder, including the murder scene itself, would that case number be on those placards as well?
Yes, sir.
Or should be at least,
It
right?
should be.
This is the house in 514.
Yes, sir. That's just an aerial frontal shot of the house.
And when you process a house, just briefly, I think you're the first crime scene person, so I don't want to rush you too much, but when you process a house, is there a certain protocol or standard that you do in processing a house as far as photographing, documenting, collecting, preserving evidence?
Well, usually the way I used to do it was I would always photograph the house first, just to show, just to show where I was at, and then the next shot should probably be either a close-up of the numerical address that should be on the post, and then from there I work my way into the house as I'm taking pictures. And I usually start to the left for some reason, so I would take a picture of the first room, do a complete 360 of the room, and then go to the next room, and then try to have the pictures lead to the next room. So if you were to lay down all the pictures, it should be a complete 360 of each room.
And as far as, sorry, Your Honor, 1 second. Is it fair to say you took a lot of photos?
Yeah, I've always been known to be photo heavy, so.
Even though there's 100 photos here, that is just a small portion of how many you actually took.
Yes. Well, you can never take too many photographs, and sometimes you just have to follow the scene. Sometimes the scene is complex. There's a lot of stuff to photograph. There's a lot of evidence that you have to take pictures of. So you just have to work the scene. And if the scene requires a lot of photographs, and then you take a lot of photographs.
And then also, you kind of, if you're collecting a piece of evidence or find a piece of evidence, you kind of do a far out.
Yes, sir. So what we do is we take overalls, and then we take mid-ranges and close-ups. So if I was gonna see that red button, for example, I would take an overall picture, kind of standing where you're at, taking a picture, and then I'll take a mid-range shot, and then I'll take a close-up shot to show you the progression of the seizure, as opposed to just a red button in the middle of a wall where you have no idea where it's at. And then I would proceed with the same series of shots with the evidence marker next to it.
And then, even then, when you take it to the property room at Baylor Street, photos there as well, right?
Yes, I also photographed it there. If it needs to be photographed. Most of the time, like a weapon, like a knife or a gun or a screwdriver or fire project casing, there's more photographs to take on top of that.
And it's okay to admit, you like taking photographs.
I kind of did.
All right, thanks, Detective. All right, and I'm going to move through some of these, again, fairly quickly. Jumping into 516, we're moving into the house. And again, each room, you go in and kind of take photos.
Correct.
Clockwise, is that how you typically do it?
I would try to do it clockwise, but a lot of times you have to be able to adjust to the scene.
Sure. Again, just moving through the house, 518. The first room, we see 519 entering into the room, 520. Kind of, again, moving through the room, 521. Is this you, 22, just documenting everything as you walk into the room and take photos?
Yes, usually I would take them from one corner and then stand on the opposite end and finish the 360 through the other side.
523, 524, again, all photos are just moving through the room.
Correct.
525. Then you get a different angle, 526. And what do we see up there on the TV in 526?
Looks like the security footage.
527, would this be the closet?
Yes.
And then back out in the hallway, 528. 529, what do we have here in the hallway closet?
That would be the little hall closet where the water heater is, I believe it's water heater or AC is located, and it's a DVR that's all hooked up.
And was that one of the things you seized from that location?
Yes, that's correct.
I approach, Your Honor.
You may.
Detective, I'm showing the previously marked as State's Exhibit 708. Do you recognize State's Exhibit 708?
Yes, I do.
What is State's Exhibit 708?
It is a DVR player that's depicted in that photograph.
Swan DVR?
Yes.
And this is what you collected?
Correct.
State would offer State's Exhibit 708 for all purposes.
I'll object to the relevance for all of the reasons I've just named, but also relevance of the physical box.
Thank you. Your objection to the State Exhibit 708 is admitted for all purposes.
Thank you. State's Exhibit 530. Now we're moving on from that closet into what appears to be the living room.
Correct.
531, 532 is now looking into what appears to be a kitchen.
Yes, taken from the living room.
533, another angle of that, just different perspective, and then you can see, what do we see in the background?
The background will be that little hall closet with the DVR in it.
And then to the left of that, in between that closet and the TV, what do we see?
That would be like another hallway leading to more bedrooms.
534, just another angle. 535, is that what we saw back here in 533, all in the middle of the photo, towards the back?
Yes.
So that's that bedroom back there in 535?
Yes.
Again, you're taking a walk around the room, 537, 538. Do you try to document all these things that you're seeing on the ground taking photos of? Do you try and document them to the best that you can in all of the photographs that you take?
Yes, and we do that for we take all the photographs like this to show the scene prior to us manipulating it. And when I say manipulate, I mean by you're starting to recover evidence, starting to search. So we try to show the scene the way it was before we altered. Before we altered it.
539, the closet. 540. 541. 542. What type of bags are those?
Looks like Gucci bags.
543. What do we have here?
That would be a receipt from Manhattan Jewelers in Arlington, Texas.
And the name appears to be for Chicago.
Yes.
Does that jewelry store mean anything to you? And does the name Chicago mean anything to you?
No, not at all.
But again, you documented that, correct?
Correct.
Moving back out into the living room, 544. See a small bathroom, it looks like, in the background?
Correct.
Documented some more. 546, table. 547, 548, 549. What do we see in 549 that you were photographing?
That is a cell phone on the floor, kind of underneath the couch.
And you put it, and so you photograph like that, and then you put a placard next to it at 550?
Yes.
Okay. And then zoomed out with the placard?
Correct.
States Exhibit 552, what do we have here?
That is a pistol on the floor in between what I labeled as the couch and the sofa.
States Exhibit 553, is that just a close-up of it?
Yes, sir.
553.
That's an overall shot of it.
555, what do we have here?
That was an AR-15 style rifle that was located underneath the sofa cushions.
And then is that it with placard number 3 in States Exhibit 556?
Yes, sir.
Gunner, may I approach?
Yes, you may.
Now, these guns have been declared clear by the bailiffs as well as Detective Barnes.
I was assured of that fact.
Thank you. Detective, I'm showing you what's been marked as. Sorry. Start with this one. 841. States Exhibit 841. What type of firearm is that?
This is an AR-15, just like a Smith & Wesson model MP-15.
Gunner, may I have 1 moment, please?
Yes.
And are you able to identify that as being the firearm that you collected from that scene?
Yes, it is.
How can you identify it as such?
Every time I seize the firearm, I would always mark it in the same spot with a marker or a metal scribe. And both of these firearms have my markings in the magazine well of the pistol and the AR-15.
And then in States Exhibit 1136, do you recognize that?
Correct, I do.
And what is States 1136?
This will be I believe it was a Glock 19 pistol.
Both 841 and 1136 are firearms?
Yes, they are.
And you photographed these as well when you processed them at the property room, is that fair?
Well, it's actually our processing area. We have a little lab in the back of headquarters, and that's where we process our evidence. So.
And you would have photographed the serial numbers on those as well, and you verified those before coming in here?
Yes.
As well as your markings?
Yes, just because it's better lighting than a house, so I just took my pictures.
I get it. Now, you are a licensed peace officer, correct?
Correct.
Are all crime scene personnel, are they all licensed peace officers in the state of Texas?
No, we have both sworn licensed peace officers and civilian investigators as well.
But being a licensed peace officer, that means you have T-Cole training, you can carry a firearm.
Correct, I can.
Is a firearm a deadly weapon?
Yes, it is.
Capable of causing serious bodily injury or death?
Yes, it can.
This time, our state would offer States Exhibit 1136 and 841 for all purposes.
May I take the witness off the wire? Detective, that right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Those two items that the state just showed to you, you said that you recovered those from the Britton house.
Correct.
And you had testified previously that there's not an association of a Kewon White to that address. Is that correct?
I believe so. Correct.
And in your collection or your knowledge of those two firearms, do either one of those firearms have anything to do with the allegation on November 11th, 2020?
I didn't have no idea at the time. Like I said, I just processed the house based on the information I was
Are
given
you
to me.
aware now?
I'm aware that they were that they could have been used in the scene, but I was never told. I never got the ballistic
Let me
report.
stop you right there. Did you just say that you were told that these were used at the scene? Is that what you just said?
Yes, I did.
Is that what you meant to say?
I was told that they were believed that they were used at the scene.
Do you know now that they were not?
I have
You're
no
aware of
idea.
that?
No, ma'am, I didn't know.
As far as you know, there's no association with those firearms and Mr. White, is that right?
I have no idea. I was never told that I was never given the ballistic report, or I never reviewed the ballistic report to show that they were used anywhere.
Okay, so you don't know, you can't even make a comment about whether they're relevant.
I wouldn't say that because I seized them, and if they weren't important at the time, I wouldn't have seized them.
Okay, but you seized them for a warrant related to guns and drugs, not for a warrant related to investigating a murder, right?
I'm going to object again. This is outside the scope of a board hire of a witness.
Sustained.
I'm going to object to the relevance of the two firearms that were seized at the Britton house, and I'm going to further object to the admission of those firearms as being more prejudicial than probative, and they don't tend to show anything that the state would need to prove as it relates to the allegation from November 11th, 2020.
Thank you. Does the state have a further response?
Again, Your Honor, I'm going to mark a staple. It's been marked as State's Exhibit number 1137, which is Detective Bazan's field notes, which state the case number as well as the offense as a follow-up to a murder. And again, there's going to be additional witnesses that are going to come forward and testify before this jury as to the relevance. All he did was process this house.
All right, defendant's objection is overruled. State's Exhibit 841, 1136. And have you shown State's 1137 to the defense?
I'm tendering it to defense now and offering it for all purposes based off of false impression that's being left in front of this jury as to the reason Detective Bazan was searching. Regardless of the legal mechanism that allowed them to get into the house, Detective Bazan has testified his purpose of being there. And if they want to question the witnesses who did the search warrant, they can do that. But I'm offering that for all purposes based off of false impression that's legally in front of the jury.
And we object. This document contains a whole bunch of other stuff. It contains all kinds of hearsay. And there is no false impression with the jury because he was there pursuant to the search warrant that's already entered into evidence.
Okay, does the defense want to redact that document?
Sure, absolutely. When
You all
would you like to do that?
you all can get together and see what you want to redact from that document?
Sure.
States 1137. Otherwise, states 841 and 1136 are admitted for all purposes.
Your Honor, to make it even easier, or just for purposes of this, and if the court would like to review that approach,
Yes.
I'm more than happy to redact, take the second page off, and I will supplement this at a later time, and I will take everything off underneath the word complainant, and I would offer only that portion as to the reason Detective Bazan was there. And I'll supplement it later. I'll do it after the complainant.
I mean, my objection
Sure.
still stands. I'm objecting to the document, period.
Sure.
for any reason, in any way.
Okay, so
it's
you're not
hearsay.
asking, I thought you said you were requesting a redaction.
I want, if it's gonna be entered, I want to redact it. I can't
Okay, so
make that
that's what
determination.
he's redacting?
I can't tell the court whether or not I'm okay with that or not. I need to be able to review it. I need time to be able to see whether or not I want to give a counter to what he's offering. I don't know.
Would you hand her that document to review?
Removal of the second page.
That's it?
Okay. All right, State Exhibit 1137 is admitted as redacted
Okay. For all purposes,
for all purposes without the page 2.
permission to publish to the jury.
You may.
And where it says F/U murder, that's the third line, correct? Detective?
Yes, I'm sorry. Yes, correct.
All right, Detective. There were a number of other items that you seized from this house as well, right?
Correct.
And these are all documented within the photos that you took as well, correct?
That is correct.
So if the jury wants to go back and go through all these photos, they can go through all the photos and see exactly where you collected all these from?
That is correct.
All right. Governor, may I approach?
You may.
Thank you. Showing Mr. Martin, State's Exhibit 713, 715, 717, 719. Do you
18 or 19?
713, 715, 717, 719. Odds only. Do you recognize 713, 715, 717, and 719?
Yes, I do.
And what are those exhibits?
These would be cell phones that I recovered from the living room.
Did you do, other than collecting them at this location, did you do any of the extraction, cell phone extraction, and or review of the contents from any extractions that may or may not have been done?
No, I did not.
Do you have any idea whether there's anything relevant to the murder investigation contained within these phones?
No, sir, I don't. I have no idea.
But these are seized as pursuant to that search warrant and the investigation that was ongoing with homicide, correct?
Correct.
Is the homicide unit different than the physical evidence section?
Completely.
When you process a scene, or when PES processes a scene, you may do it at the request of homicide, is that fair?
Correct.
But how you process, or PES in general processes, is based off the protocols and procedures with PES. Is that fair?
That is fair. Your glasses, sir.
Gentlemen, and his car. And I'll take you to the 713, 715, 717, 719.
These are, yeah. These are not separate exhibits. Like you're not saying this is
It all goes together.
Can I take a witness on board, Iyer?
Yes, you may.
Sir, these phones were seized pursuant to a warrant involving the investigation, based on your warrant, investigation of narcotics sales, correct?
I don't know if it's narcotic sales. I just know it was a warrant to process the house.
But the affidavit, you have to get an affidavit to get a search warrant, right?
Yes.
Okay, and so the affidavit has to explain why you should get the authority to go in and seize anything, right?
That would be the case detective that does all the legwork.
Okay, you read the affidavit that was attached to the search warrant, right?
Well, I read it right now.
That's what I mean.
Okay.
Okay, and in that affidavit, it was about narcotics and guns, right?
Correct.
Okay, and so these cell phones were seized during the investigation when you were there with the authority to search for narcotics and guns, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Any of these have anything to do with the Kewon White?
No idea.
Do they have anything to do with the people or person that was at Britain?
I have no idea, ma'am.
Do you even know who was at Britain?
No. I just processed the scene.
Okay, so you can't testify whether or not this has any relevance to anything that occurred on November 11th?
No, I don't.
Okay. And do you know who any of these phones belong to?
No, I don't.
Okay. I'm going to object to the relevance.
Thank you. State response?
Your Honor,
These
one
cell
moment.
phones?
Yes, Your Honor. One moment.
Yes.
Right. Your Honor, my response is the same as it's been to the previous objections, which have been the same objections. Again, there's going to be additional witnesses that are going to testify throughout the course of this trial as to the relevancy of this house and the location. As the court is well aware, we have to prove up the beginning of the chain of custody as well as the end of chain of custody for any type of evidence that may or may not be relevant. The detective is on at the beginning of the chain of custody for all of these items, and there will be additional evidence and testimony regarding this house as this trial progresses.
That will tie in these cell phones, specific cell phones, to this case?
Correct.
And just in response to that, my objection would be that against them being admitted for all purposes at this time then.
Okay, you asking me to admit them for record purposes at this time?
I maybe, yes, I guess for record purposes, but certainly not for all purposes, since this detective doesn't know anything about the relevance or what's on them or why they were seized or who they belong to.
All right, State's Exhibits 713, 715, 717, and 719 are admitted for record purposes at this time.
Nothing further than state, Your Honor.
You have the witness?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, defense?
Yes, Your Honor, thank you. Okay, Detective Bazan, and I want to say it correctly, Detective Bazan.
Yes.
Okay. So again, you were a crime scene investigator for many years with the Dallas Police Department, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. Obviously, you're in a different role now, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
But in 2020, you were not only a licensed peace officer, but you investigated crime scenes.
Correct.
Okay. Now, obviously, when you're a part of a investigative team, it's not as if like nobody is sharing any information about anything, right?
Correct.
I mean, you guys are talking about, this is what we're doing, or this is what the significance is. We are having general conversations as a team, right?
Correct.
And in fact, you, as a crime scene investigator, have to know something about what you're doing, because that's how you're able to make a determination about whether something is relevant and should be seized, or not relevant and not be seized, right?
Correct.
In other words, if you were investigating, the kidnapping of a dog, right, you would need to know that, because maybe the dog's bowl and the dog's leash and whatever else might be relevant evidence, right?
Right.
But if you didn't know that, then you wouldn't know that you maybe needed to photograph and seize those things, right?
Right.
So in this case, you received the authority to search a residence, and let me back up and draw on your extensive police training. You're aware of what it takes to get a search warrant in the United States, right?
Yes.
In other words, and especially a search warrant to go into a house, right?
Right.
And why is there like an additional level to get a search warrant to go into a house? Like, why is it like a little bit harder to do?
Well, because I guess a case detective would have to determine what they need and where it might be in the house.
And would that case detective also have to say, I believe specifically that there's something going on in this house that may be related to a crime?
I've never written a search warrant, but yes, I would assume so.
Yeah, but you've been a police officer for a while, right?
Yes.
And you have taken several search warrants to scenes to then go do your job, right?
No, I haven't.
You don't generally take search warrants to scenes?
I have never taken a search warrant.
Okay, do you know what the search warrant says before you go?
Yes.
Okay, so you're just saying you don't physically take it with you?
I've never written a search warrant. I've only executed when I was in crime scene.
Okay, but that's what I'm asking you. That you have executed search warrants, and so you know what's required and what it contains in order to get you inside of a house.
Correct.
Right, that's what I'm asking you.
Okay.
My question may have been a little bit confusing, so I apologize. And so you know that included in a search warrant to get you inside of a house has to be something called an affidavit. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sorry.
No, I'm going to object to relevancy. A judge has already determined and signed off on the search warrant in this case that there was probable cause to go and search this house based off that judge's knowledge and review of the search warrant and the affidavit and signed off on it. I don't know what the relevance is.
I don't think that's the direction of this question. Go ahead.
And so in this instance, you maybe didn't physically take the search warrant paperwork with you, but you reviewed it before you entered into the property on Britain. Is that fair?
That's fair.
Okay, because you're not going to go into a property unless you know that you're allowed to legally be there, right?
Yes, because my main concern is, do I have a warrant? And that's
Right.
it.
And if you have a warrant, then you need to know what you're allowed to go do while you're in there, right?
Right.
Because a warrant isn't a blanket like go do whatever you want, right?
No.
It's not. It's specific, right?
Right.
And in this case, the warrant didn't say we're investigating a murder that occurred on November 11, 2020, and we think that there are elements of this crime inside of this house on Britain, specifically A, B, C, and D. That's not what this search warrant said, right?
No.
This search warrant didn't even mention an investigation of a murder allegation occurring on November 11, 2020, right?
Right.
This actually had to do with an investigation related to narcotics, right?
Correct.
And I guess guns as well. Is that right?
It's all tied in. Narcotics, guns.
Okay, and so you then have that knowledge, and you go in, and that's what you're looking for,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Right.
Okay. And in this particular case, a specific person was named. Is that right?
Correct.
And that person was somebody named Devin Brown, right?
Right.
And in this particular case, no Kewon White was named. Is that right?
Not that I saw. Correct.
And any of the items that you seized didn't say Kewon White on them, is that right?
Correct.
None of the firearms that you seized had, that you could tell belonged to Kewon White?
Not that I know of.
You don't know whether or not any, or maybe you do now, that any of the firearms that were seized had anything to do with the shooting on November 11th. Maybe you know that now. Do you know that now?
Yes.
Okay. So none of the firearms that you seized had anything to do with the shooting on November 11th, correct?
I have no, well, at the time I didn't know.
Do you know it now?
I'm assuming I know it because we're here, but I was never told that this is this or this is that. I'm just here to tell.
Your testimony is that where you are now, have you met with the state of Texas before today?
Yes.
Okay. How many times?
Once?
Have you,
Twice? Maybe?
Okay. What do you think is once? Do you think it's twice?
Twice.
Okay. Have you talked to any of your other law enforcement colleagues as relates to this case?
No.
So the preparation that you did in anticipation of your testimony today is that you didn't talk to any of your colleagues, is that correct?
Correct.
And you met with the state of Texas once or twice?
Probably twice for sure, but phone conversations and stuff, so here and there.
So more than twice?
Probably three, maybe three times, two or three times.
Okay. And in the course of those conversations, they didn't share with you that any of the firearms seized from Britain were connected to anything that happened on November 11th? They didn't tell you that?
I don't remember. I mean, they might have, but it's been a while.
Okay. When's the last time you talked to them?
A couple of weeks ago, or right? A couple of weeks ago, maybe.
Okay. So it's been a while since you talked to them, but roughly about a couple weeks?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm so sorry. Is that a yes?
Yes, I'm sorry.
Okay. No worries. Okay. So you don't know, and the cell phones that you seized, you don't know who those belong to, is that right?
That's correct.
You don't know whether or not they belong to Kewon White, right?
I have no idea.
Devin Brown, right?
No idea.
Anyone else?
No.
Do you know whether or not any of them were associated with Melvin Noble?
No.
Do you know if any of the firearms were associated with Melvin Noble?
No.
Do you know whether or not the Britain address had anything to do with Melvin Noble?
No.
Okay, so you don't know really anything about the allegations of November 11th?
I just know that there was a murder on November 11th, and I went to a follow-up regarding the murder.
Okay, even though your search warrant didn't say murder follow-up?
Correct.
Okay.
Well, it wasn't my search warrant, somebody else's.
May I have a moment, Your Honor?
Yes.
Maybe, I guess.
Okay, or just you don't know?
I don't know.
I'll pass it in.
State?
None of them state, Your Honor.
All right. Latest witness be released?
No objection.
Subject to recall.
All right. You're free to leave right now, but stay in touch with the state and the defense in case either party wants to recall you, okay?
Okay.
Thank you. State, call your next witness.
Your Honor, do we have a moment to step outside and check?
Yes. Ms. Jackson, would you raise your right hand for me? All right, do you swear that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
I do.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. Can you please state and spell your name for the record?
Jocelyn Jackson, JOCYLYNN, JACKSON.
And can you introduce yourself to the jury? Tell them who you are.
I'm Jocelyn,
What do you do for work?
insurance.
How long have you been doing insurance?
4 years.
And do you have children?
Yes.
How many children do you have?
I have 2 boys,
How old are they?
13 and 11.
What's the name of your 13-year-old?
Trey,
And your 11-year-old?
Duke.
Now, Jocelyn, did you want to be here today?
No,
In fact, you have to be subpoenaed to come here. Is that right?
correct.
Have you been harassed about being here today
Yes.
by the state or other people?
Other people?
Your boys, are they pretty active?
Yes.
What do they do?
They play football.
Both of them?
Yes, ma'am.
Any other sports?
No.
Did you grow up here in the DFW area?
Yes, I did.
What part did you grow up in?
I'm from North Park.
North Park?
It's like North Dallas area.
And what high school did you go to?
I went to Lancaster High School
When did you graduate?
in 2012.
Do you roughly remember some of the folks that you went to high school with?
Yes.
Your oldest son, Trey, is that his real name or is that a nickname?
That's his nickname,
What's his real name?
Devin.
And is he named after his father?
Yes, ma'am.
What's his father's name?
Devin
And his last name?
Brown.
How'd you meet Devin Brown?
Through a mutual friend
Do you remember when y'all met?
in 2011.
So would that have been roughly after you had graduated high school or right before?
I think, no, I graduated first. So I met him after I graduated. So I take that back. It was 2011 when I graduated.
How'd you meet?
Through his friend.
Who were those friends, if you remember?
His name was Florida.
What was that?
His name was Florida.
Florida?
Mhm.
Okay. What do you know Devin as, or what do you call Devin?
Chicago.
Why do you call Devin Chicago?
Because he's from Chicago.
Pretty self-explanatory, right?
Yes.
So when y'all met, did y'all start a relationship soon after?
Yeah, you can say that, yes.
What would you call it?
We was, I guess it was a relationship.
How was that relationship in the beginning?
It was good, like any other relationship. It was cool.
And at some point, you find out that you were pregnant with your son?
Yes.
And how was your relationship during your pregnancy?
It wasn't really good
Why is that?
because it was just drama. He had an ex-girlfriend that he was talking to. It was just a lot of drama, and we just used to get into it.
But y'all stayed together enough to have a second child, is that right?
Correct.
You had Duke 2 years after you had Trey?
3 years in 2015.
At some point, did y'all decide to stop seeing each other?
I decided to stop talking to him in 2018, July 2018,
Why was that?
because we used to fight a lot, like physical fight, get into it, hit each other, fight.
Is this Jossie Banks, y'all?
How did you end up ending that relationship?
I moved. It was the end of my lease term in my townhome, and I just moved, and I didn't tell him where I stayed at for like 6 months. And I just stopped talking to him, like just cold turkey.
During this time, were y'all at least communicating about your kids?
I was trying to communicate to him about my kids. I was trying to get him to assist with like daycare and stuff like that, but it wasn't. He wasn't. We wasn't like talking like that. He was no.
Enough where you didn't even want to let him know where you live. Is that right?
Yeah.
Now, at some point, did y'all start talking again and trying to co-parent the boys?
Yes, we started talking. Probably, I moved again after that to the place that I was at, and we started talking again. But I mean, like pretty much our co-parenting relationship wasn't like it wasn't a healthy co-parenting relationship. So,
Explain what that, if there was a co-parenting relationship, I mean, what that even was.
It was more so of me trying to get him to help financially with my kids. We will always have falling outs about that. Him getting them, him seeing them more, being more active. That was the type of co-parenting relationship we had. Like, I was always upset about him not doing something or stuff like that. So I wouldn't necessarily say it was a co-parenting relationship where I can call him and, it wasn't a good co-parenting relationship.
Would he provide some financial support or none at all?
He would sometimes when he wanted to.
What about the boys? Did he ever make time to go see them?
Yeah, he saw them sometimes when he wanted to. When it was convenient for him.
Was that on a consistent basis?
No.
How often, maybe a month, would he see the boys?
I can't say. Not a lot. It wasn't a lot. I had them majority of the time.
What was your relationship with Devin like in 2020?
Same stuff. Arguments about getting the kids. Arguments about helping financially. It was the same stuff.
Were y'all on speaking terms or not really?
We was on speaking terms sometimes. If he didn't make me mad about something, or if I feel like he didn't do something that I needed him to do. But as far as like talking, no, we didn't really communicate with each other like that.
Trey, your oldest son, when's his birthday?
November the 1st.
November 1st?
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember if you had a birthday party for Trey November 1st of 2020?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Or maybe a joint birthday party for the boys?
We never did joint.
Okay. Do you remember if he did anything with Trey for his birthday back in November 1st of 2020?
I think he bought him a hoverboard, but as far as like a party, no. I don't remember. I don't. It's so long ago. I don't.
At some point in 2020, did you start seeing other people?
Yes.
Who were you talking with November of 2020?
MO3.
And MO3, you know him as Melvin Noble?
Yes, ma'am.
What did you call him?
Momo.
How did you and Momo meet?
We met on social media, on Facebook.
Do you remember roughly when that was?
Like 2017.
So y'all known each other for years.
Yes.
Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
So Facebook, that's prior to trying to date now. How did y'all introduce each other on Facebook?
I think we was in a Facebook group called Keys to the Streets, and I don't even remember how. I think he inboxed me or inboxed my mom. He inboxed my mom first, then he inboxed me. We exchanged numbers, and that's how we began to talk.
What was it like in 2017? I mean, were y'all meeting up with each other then, or how?
No, we wasn't meeting up. We were just on the phone talking sporadically. I call him, he'll call me, we'll talk, chat. That was it.
What were your conversations like with him?
Just talk about stuff on social media.
And did that relationship grow over the years?
No, well, when you say grow, what do you mean by that?
Well, how did you get from maybe talking on the phone every now and then to something more serious?
We didn't start talking serious until 2020.
Do you remember when? Is that the month?
July? I don't remember.
And what made you decide to finally start talking to him seriously?
We had each other on Snap. I was selling plates, and he wanted a plate, so he came and bought a plate. He came to my mama's house. He bought a plate. We talked for like a long time, and then it went from there.
You remember the kind of things that y'all used to talk about?
Everything, his whole life story, music.
How was he when he was with you?
Very goofy, very talkative, very, he just talk a lot. He just always had a story to tell.
Was he funny?
Yes, he was funny.
Did he make you laugh?
Yeah.
When you said that you were selling plates, he came to get a plate. And we're talking about food?
Yeah.
What kind of food would you make?
That day?
Or in general, when you selling plates?
I was trying to test something out. So I had started selling plates to try to see if I can make money selling plates. That particular time I made like some chicken, mac and cheese, some yams. But it was just like a little test run. It wasn't something that I was doing for a long time. I was just like, I'm going to see if I can sell plates. And so, yeah.
And then when he came over to come get that plate, y'all ended up talking for a long time?
Yes.
And how did your relationship progress over the months?
We started going out and stuff, going bowling, hanging out. He would come to my house, and play Connect 4 with my family.
Did you like playing Connect 4?
Yeah, he was real good at Connect 4. So during that time, it was like a Connect 4 war between him and my family. So he'll come over there, play Connect 4, take their money. It was just a big thing. So, and then I think that's really how we ended up talking for real, because I seen how he interacted with my family, and I don't really bring people around them like that. So I was like, okay, they like him, so cool.
And when you say Connect 4, I mean, we're talking about that old school
Mhm.
with the little circles, one team is red, one team is yellow?
Yeah.
But he was really good at that Connect 4?
Yeah, he was good at it.
Did you ever play with him?
I wasn't good, no.
You-
I wasn't interested in playing Connect 4. I wasn't good at it.
And you said you would come over and talk to your family. You have a big family?
I do.
Okay, how many brothers and sisters do you have?
I have one brother and I have 3 sisters.
And in fact, y'all have the same first initial, is that right?
Correct.
And that, how did that start? Like, how all y'all have the same first initial?
My daddy's name is James Jackson, so we all got J's in our name.
I want to talk about, we're here, right?
Mm-hmm.
I want to talk about November 10th. Okay, this is the day before Melvin was murdered. Do you remember that day?
Yes.
Did y'all have plans to see each other that day?
Yes, we had plans the day before. He was telling me that he was flying down to come see me. He was in California. He said he was going to come to my house when he left from California.
Do you remember what he was doing in California?
Music stuff, from my knowledge, music stuff.
And November 10th, do you happen to remember that was a Tuesday?
It was.
About what time did he come to your house on November 10th?
And he came early. I think it was about 11 o'clock probably. It was during the day. It was early.
And did he end up staying until the following day?
Yes.
Do you remember what y'all were doing day of November 10th?
We was talking. We was just, I really don't even remember. We was talking. I know I cooked that night, but talking, just chilling, nothing.
He ended up staying the night with you?
Yes.
Do you remember roughly about what time he left on November 11th?
I'm gonna say it was around noon when he left, 11ish or noonish when he left.
And were your boys with you?
Yes, they was.
And it was COVID time, so were they in school or they were being schooled through the computer?
They was doing school virtually.
How did your boys like Melvin?
They liked him. They was starstruck. They liked him.
Now, at some point, your oldest son Trey did he ask you if he could go see his dad?
Yes, he did. Well, he asked if his dad can pick him up.
And did you allow that to happen?
No.
Why not?
Because I hadn't talked to his dad in a few months, and I was just to the point where I was like, you gonna either be helped with them or you not. So I was like, no, I haven't talked to him, so he can't see y'all. He can't pick y'all up.
So had you been in the boys' lives or seen them recently?
No.
This was kind of out of the blue?
Yes.
Did you have, at that time, did you have regular visits with Devin?
No.
Were you and Devin directly communicating at that time?
No.
How, if y'all were communicating, how would y'all communicate?
Through my son.
And so, your son Trey, he had a cell phone?
Yes.
And so if you needed to get in touch with Devin, would you use Trey's cell phone to talk with him?
Yes.
How old was Trey in November 11th of 2020? How old was he back then?
He was 8 years old.
And you said that Melvin left your apartment around noon?
Yes.
What do you recall happening next after he left?
My sister called me probably like 30 minutes later, and she was like, what?
Sustained.
At some point, did you find out what happened to Melvin?
Yes.
What was going through your mind when you found that out?
I just knew it was just something fishy. Like, I just knew that it was something fishy. I was sad, I was angry.
Did he seem like he was in fear of his life while he was with you, November 10th through November 11th?
No, he never seemed like he was in fear of his life when he was with me.
When you said it seemed like it was something fishy, why would you think that?
Objection, speculation.
It's your own personal thoughts around it.
If you know. If you know the answer to that question, if you're going to guess, then don't.
What?
What was the question?
Why did you think that there was something fishy surrounding his death?
Okay. And my instruction to you is if you know, then you can answer.
Because he was leaving my house, and I just felt like somebody had something to do with it.
Did a lot of people know where you lived?
No,
Why is that?
I didn't let people know where I live at.
At some point, did you or a family member contact police on November 11th?
I believe my mom contacted the police.
Did you speak to police that night?
Yes, ma'am.
What were your concerns?
I felt like my address was given out to someone. I felt like somebody had followed him from my house, or I felt like, anybody would think that was my concerns.
Were you aware of the public beef with MO3 and other artists?
I was.
You want to write first with this? Well, actually, I'm going to hold off. Okay, you said you met with police officers on the night of November 11th, is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
And you said it was because you were concerned that someone knew where you lived?
I was concerned. I felt like that, can I say?
I mean, if it's your own personal knowledge.
I feel like my address was given out
Why did you feel that way?
because don't nobody know where I stay at. I don't bring people to my house. And the only person that knows where I stay at is my kids at. So I feel like my address was given out.
When you say your kids died, you're talking about Devin Brown?
Yes,
So you felt that Devin Brown had something to do with knowing that Melvin was at your house?
correct.
And why would you think that?
Because I asked my son, did his dad ask him about it?
And hearsay.
It's her own, it's her, she just said, I asked my son.
Right.
She didn't, go ahead.
I asked my son, had he talked to his father, and if he asked if he was there, because he had been asking, he take them out? So my intuition clicked, and that's the first thing that came to my mind.
And did you actually see Trey's phone?
At the time, no, I don't remember. No,
You said that in Trey's phone, that's how you were communicating with Devin. Is that right?
I didn't communicate with him. I don't believe through his phone. When we wasn't on talking terms, I don't think I was reaching out to him during that time.
Did you later go to the Dallas Police Department and get interviewed by a detective, Chris Anderson?
Yes,
And did you remember bringing your phones, both your phone and your son's phone, to that interview?
I do.
And what was the point of doing that?
To show that I didn't have anything to do with it, and to show for the police to do whatever investigation they needed to do to rule me out.
You want me to approach?
You may.
Okay, Josh, so I'm showing you what's been marked as State's Exhibit 732 and 735. These were the consent to search that you had signed with Detective Anderson, is that correct?
Correct.
And the date on here, the date is November 17th of 2020, is that correct? At 12:15?
Yes,
And do you recognize your signature on both pages?
I do.
And then one was for an iPhone 8. Do you recall if that was Trey's phone or your phone?
That was my son's phone.
And the iPhone 11, that was your phone?
Yes.
Your Honor, at this time, State offers State's Exhibit 732 and 735 that have been previously submitted to defense.
And which phone does 732 correlate? That iPhone 8 or 11?
iPhone 8 is for 732.
Thank you.
Objections to 732 and 735.
Thank you. State's Exhibits 732 and 735 are admitted for all purposes.
Your Honor, may we approach?
Yes. And Lee, you have a lot more of this witness?
Yes, Your Honor, that's.
Okay. All right, y'all can go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it looks like we're not about to finish with this witness anytime soon with the state, so we're going to resume tomorrow at 8:30. Please y'all be here at 8:30, and we'll start as soon as possible, as you arrive, okay? You're still under my instructions. Do not go on social media. Everybody needs to sit down. I'm still addressing the jury. We're not to do any sort of social media research, just like I said before. Don't talk to each other. And we'll see you back here at 8:30 in the morning. Thank you.
All rise.
Something reminds me of Ohio.
I thought about it just the other day.
Yes, of course.
Okay, thank you. I think my daughter was at school online. You know, for years and let's pop back there real quick, so just
Okay, thank you. Fair enough to play.
Alright, let's clear the courtroom.
Oh, I can do that right now. What time do you need?
Okay, we started outside the freshman, right?
We did, so let me open that file. Let's see. 6.
This is my life at Pecking House. Is there's capsaicin in the air constantly, which is pepper spray, and I've become really sensitive to it. I don't know if it's because I'm getting older or whatever, but everyone makes fun of me because I start crying like crazy nowadays. I can tell by it. I mean, there we go. Hello, my name is Eric Huang. I'm the chef of Peking House. It's a fried chicken establishment in New York City. We make our signature dish, the chili fried chicken. The chicken is obviously the star of the show, so we want a really beautiful chicken. This is a lovingly raised chicken. When it's air chilled, it maintains the crust a lot better, and that's what makes it really super crispy. So we're going to do a traditional 10-piece breakdown, which is classic in Southern style fried chicken, which is where this is originated from. And there we have it. 10 pieces of chicken, all ready to be fried. So this is our proprietary seasoning mix. 3 parts kosher salt, 1 part MSG, and 1 part of sugar. That's kind of a big difference in Chinese cooking. Sugar is extremely important. Soy sauce and sugar balance each other really well because of the salt and the umami. You really need a little bit of sweetness to round out the flavor, so it's not just overly in your face, salt and savory. So now we're gonna marinate chicken, buttermilk brine chicken, obviously again in the Southern tradition. The slightly acidic nature of buttermilk helps to tenderize the meat. I do add flour to marinate, which is perhaps a little bit unusual. This kind of helps form a paste and allows the gluten to hydrate overnight. And that way you only need to dredge it once. A little garlic powder, a little onion powder, all those good things. 5 spice. And then Dijon, not very Asian, but delicious. I remember when I was one of my first cooking jobs, we used to do this whole roast chicken. It was completely slathered in mustard. And the mustard mellows completely in the cooking process and just adds a lot of savory flavor. Our seasoning mix that we made before, and then we're just gonna make a little paste. It doesn't need to be completely smooth. You're not making a laminated dough or anything here. It just needs to have some goopiness, because that is what is going to make the chicken taste good and have the crust adhere to it. Just be delicate with the white meat. As we'll see later, as it fries, it's a little challenging to do so and get the crust and the skin on the chicken just right, on the breast specifically. And then that's really it. You don't have to mix it too much. The flour will hydrate overnight and the buttermilk will do its thing, as we were saying before. And ideally you would do this for 24 hours overnight, but if you're in a rush, you could do it for a couple hours.
Oh, my bad, y'all. I was working, man. Listen, working on Sunday. Everything done. All right, y'all. We're going to go ahead and wrap this shit up. We are at the end. Shout out to everybody. We're going to go ahead and wrap this up, man. I'm working on something, so I got to make this short and sweet. Like my bro said, I reserve the right to be wrong. Like I say, I identify as a multi-millionaire. Let me shout out the crowd. I see Phoenix 44, what up with it? Most popular nobody, what up with it? Mard James, what up with it? Melissa Lakina, what up with it? We will be back tomorrow, y'all, definitely. Is that Wade Harper, what up with it? Jake Krause, what up, what up? Big Slang, yo, Will, yo. I see y'all. Big homie Slim, what up? Brian Phillips, I see. Oh, he got erased. I done shouted him out already. Sapphire to you, what up, what up? Aleem Talib, let's go. Hard Scratcher. Shout out to y'all, man. Shout out to y'all. Mopar Muscle. Okay, let's go. YT Student 1. I see y'all. Earl Kellum. Kels. Tyreen up. Shout out to y'all. Shout out to y'all. I appreciate y'all for rocking out. D-Mo, what up? Mr. 610 Geo. Shout out to the mods, man. Shout out to the most aggravating chat in the game. Hold on, what we looking like? I ain't even checked nothing. I ain't checked nothing all day. Been doing 10 other things in the process. Ooh, them numbers is shitty. But it don't matter. We still here, though. I appreciate y'all, man. We gonna be up out of here. Super duper salute to y'all, man. I'll catch y'all later, Rumonati. Yup. Let's motherfucking go.